I used to think my son knew that even if I never said the words, somehow he felt them.
That love didn't need a voice. That pride didn't need to be spoken. That silence could carry what my mouth never did. I was wrong.
I was never the kind of father who talked much. I didn't say I love you. I didn't say I'm proud of you.
Not because I didn't feel it, but because I didn't know how to say it. I showed it in other ways. I worked long hours. I paid the bills. I fixed what was broken. I stood in the rain at his games. I drove him to school in the early mornings. I stayed up late waiting for him to come home. When he brought home a report card, I nodded. When he won a game, I clapped. But I never said the words. Not once.
My father never said them to me either. In his world, men didn't speak their hearts. They carried them.
They proved love by providing, by staying, by enduring, by coming home tired and saying nothing, by putting food on the table and calling it care.
So I did the same. I thought silence was strength. I thought emotions made you weak.
I thought if I said too much, I would somehow lose control. I thought my son would understand. He never told me he didn't.
As he got older, he talked less. Not because he didn't have things to say,
but because he stopped thinking I wanted to hear them. Our conversations became short. How's school? Fine. How's work? Good. You okay? Yeah. And that was it. No stories, no worries, no dreams. I told myself it was normal, that this is how life goes. Parents, children, time. I didn't realize distance doesn't always come from anger. Sometimes it comes from quiet.
There was one day I still see clearly. He was standing in my kitchen, about to leave.
His coat was on, his keys were in his hand. He had just told me about a promotion, something he had worked years for. He waited. Not for congratulations, for something else. I felt it. The words were right there. I'm proud of you. They sat in my chest, heavy, ready. My throat tightened, and I did what I always did. I swallowed them. I just nodded and said, "That's good." And he smiled. Not a happy smile, a polite one, the kind you give when you stop expecting more.
Years later, I asked him why he never shared much anymore.
We were sitting across from each other, coffee between us, silence around us. He hesitated. Then he said something I wasn't prepared for. I never knew if anything I did was enough for you. I laughed at first. Of course it was enough. It was always enough. I had been proud of him every single day of his life. But then he said, "You never told me." And the room went quiet. Not an empty quiet, a heavy one.
That sentence stayed with me. Not because it hurt my pride, but because it broke my heart.
I had spent his whole childhood feeling proud. Proud of the man he was becoming. Proud of his strength. Proud of his kindness. Proud of how he treated people. Proud of how he tried, even when things were hard. And I had locked it all inside, like it was something to be saved, for later, for a better moment. for a calmer day, for a day that never came.
My son is grown now. He has his own life, his own worries, his own children.
He is busy, tired, carrying his own weight in the world. And I sit in this chair, in this quiet room, thinking about all the things I should have said. Not the advice, not the warnings, the simple things. I'm proud of you. I always have been. You were enough. You still are. I say them now. But sometimes I wonder if they arrive too late.
Love that is not spoken can be missed. Pride that is not voiced can be doubted.
Silence does not always protect. Sometimes it teaches people to stop hoping.
If your children are still in your life, don't assume they know.
Don't assume your actions are enough. Don't assume your silence is understood.
Tell them, even if it feels awkward, even if your voice shakes,
Even if you were never taught how, say it while you still can. Because one day, you might be sitting in a quiet room with a full heart and a lifetime of words that no one is left to hear.